So you've decided you want to get into waist training, but you don't know how to do it. Stick around and I will give you a couple of different methods. Hey guys, it's Morgan with BDSM Relationships and Education. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Today we're going to talk about different ways to waist train, different methods to go about it. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely stick around. If you haven't done so already, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you find this video helpful or useful in any way, please give me a thumbs up so I know to make more videos like this. So today we're talking about waist training, but let's start with a quick definition of what waist training is. I talked about it in my waist training versus tight lacing video, which you can find, man, I do it wrong every time. You can find linked up here, but basically it is wearing a corset long term, so over many, many days, weeks, months, years even, and wearing it for many hours per day in order to be able to cinch your waist down smaller. Now, sometimes this can result in what we call semi-permanent waist reductions. So for a couple of hours, maybe a few days after you take the corset off, depending on how long you've been wearing it, you will have a slight reduction in the size of your waist. Now, this is not a common thing, and this is certainly not a way to lose weight or anything like that. So there are a bunch of different methods, and whether these methods are going to work for you or not is entirely up to you. And it depends on, how dedicated you are to waist training, how often you're able to wear a corset, all kinds of different factors there. One of the things I really need to point out here is that the length of time that you wear the corset and how often you wear the corset is far more important than the actual reduction on your waist. The reduction will come over time, but the consistency, that is what's going to enable you to get to greater reductions. Now, I don't currently waist train. I have in the past, but my body, I have chronic pain and a lot of nerve damage and stuff like that. So my body right now says, nah, you are not going to be waist training. So I just can't do it right now. And that's sometimes something that you're going to have to deal with. Sometimes your body says, no way. So be prepared that your body just might not be ready for this. So unfortunately, I would say, consult with a doctor, except the doctors don't know anything about waist training for the most part. But I would make sure that you are in good health before you begin, or as good a health as is possible for you, for those of us who have chronic illnesses and chronic disabilities that prevent us from being ever truly healthy. And I put that in quotes because I can be as healthy as I possibly can be for me, and I still don't qualify as healthy in most people's minds. So yeah, that's a whole other thing. Anyways, you know your body best, especially, and I'm talking to my fellow spoonies out there, you guys know your body best and make decisions that are good for you, and listen to your body because you know you have to. We don't get to just do things and figure our bodies will deal with it later. Nah, listen to your body. And I think that's good advice for everyone. So, but anyways, the length of time that you wear the corset, the sort of repetitiveness, how many days a week you wear the corset, all of that is going to determine your results, not necessarily the, reduction at the time that you're wearing it. So let us talk about different waist training methods. And we're going to start with the most extreme one, which is wearing a corset 23/7. Now, I don't think I've ever quite made it to 23/7. So what I'm talking about there is wearing a corset 23 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that is hard to do. No matter how much you love corsets, it is hard. There are very few people who actually meet this sort of goal of wearing them that much. Now, I have slept in corsets before. That was rather short-lived because I don't sleep very well to begin with. Adding a corset into the mix, just no. But I am able to sleep under weird circumstances. I have totally fallen asleep standing up at various points in my time, in my life, like when I was working full-time and going to school full-time. You learn to sleep wherever you can. And it sucks, so I don't recommend it. But anyways, so I'm fairly used to sleeping under fucked up conditions, And I still had a hard time sleeping in a corset. Now, we don't want to sleep in the same corset that we're wearing all day. If you're going to do that, you want to have a corset that is slightly bigger and looser that you can sleep in, just so that you can keep a bit of pressure on your waist without it, being really, really compressed. So if you are normally lacing down to, say, 28 inches, then having a 30-inch waist, waisted corset for sleeping in would be a good idea. So you can use some of your older corsets that you've sort of grown out of or that you've reduced too far for them to work. How do you even say that? I don't know. But anyways, you can use one of those older corsets that you've retired because it's now too big for you. You can use those to sleep in, and that's quite often what people do. So again, it's really hard to get there, and it's one of those work up to it kind of things. So the idea of 23 hours a day is because you need time to shower, and you really should spend at least a little bit of time exercising. So, I think probably, I don't know, I like to take long showers, so that doesn't leave a lot of time for exercising. So maybe 22 and a half hours a day, whatever works for you. But again, this is a very rare thing, but it is something that gets talked about a lot within the corset community as this amazing goal. And if you can actually do it, you're awesome. But it just doesn't work for everyone. So don't feel bad if that's totally not going to happen for you, because it's not going to happen for most people. So something else, a different way to go about it that is a lot more common is wearing a corset during the daytime only. So that is, you get up, you get dressed, you put a corset on, you wear the corset throughout the day, you come home, you have your dinner, you relax in the evening, still wearing the corset, and when it's time to go to bed, you take it off and you're good. Obviously, you take it off if you're going to exercise. We do not wear corsets while exercising ever. And you do need to make sure you exercise if you are going to wear a corset like this long term. You want to be able to keep the strength of your core muscles up, because often our bodies will get lazy because the corset can support us in a lot of ways. So we want to make sure that we keep those core muscles strong. So our stomach muscles, our back muscles, all of it, you just need to keep those toned and in shape. And working out is good for you anyways, for the most part. So, hit the gym as much as it kind of sucks sometimes. I miss the gym. I really do. I used to work out all the time. Oh well. Anyways, so wearing it for the day only is a great way to, if you are able to, for your work or for whatever, then that is a great way to waist train. Now, some people, that's not going to happen either because they can't wear a corset to their job or whatever. And again, I'm going to refer you to the video that I have on, wearing your corset underneath your clothes. But that's just not feasible for some people even still. Say they have a physical job or they just can't for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. If you can't do that, a lot of people will wear corsets weekends and evenings only. So whatever your weekend is, I know that a lot of us have screwed up schedules where we are not working Monday to Friday anymore. But when you get home from work, you put the corset on. You wear the corset for those 4 or 5 hours in the evening when you're just sitting around at home. And then on your day off, you wear the corset all day. So that can work really well for a lot of people. Now, there's a couple of other more formalized methods that various corseteers have put forward. So the first one is from Romantasy. Man, I could never say the name of that corset company. Romantasy, I think that's it. Anyways, it is the roller coaster method. And so this one, I think that this would work for a lot of people. It's a very reasonable method, and it's something that you do sort of have to keep track of. So that is a factor. If you're not good at keeping track of stuff like that, then this may not be the right thing for you. Somebody should make an app, though. They should totally make an app. There's apps for everything. It would work. Anyways, so the way that this method works is that you start with your corset that only gives you a 2 to 4 inch reduction, because that's where we should all start. So we start with that corset and we wear it for a couple hours a day. And we, just start slowly, wear it for a few hours, wear it for a few hours, wear it for a few hours. And then slowly as the time goes on, the next week, maybe we started wearing it for 2 hours a day. Next week, we start wearing it for 3 hours a day. The next week, we start wearing it for 4 hours a day. You see where I'm going with this? And we go until we're wearing it all day. So once we hit that, we're wearing the corset all day. We get a new corset, that is a bit smaller. So then we would get one that reduces our waist 4 to 6 inches. And then we start right back down at the beginning. So 2 hours a day in this new corset. Then the next week, 3 hours a day. The next week, 4 hours a day. And I'm just giving you random numbers here. You don't have to do it exactly the way I'm saying it, whatever works for your body. So if it's only 1 hour a day, half an hour a day, then that's fine. If you find that you can tolerate it for 3 hours a day in the very beginning, that's fine too. But I will warn you that like the first day you can be like, yeah, I've totally worn my corset for 8 hours and I feel great. And then the second day you're like, man, 4 hours is hard. So it can kind of build up like that and be tough on your body. And honestly, some people are probably the opposite of that, where they can't wear it a lot in the beginning and then it's easier to work up. So just basically, you get the idea. We're going to go up. We're going to increase the time slowly. And then when we get to all day, we're going to increase the reduction. And then we're going to have to start at the bottom of the time again. So you just kind of go through that cycle. So the next one is comes to us through Contour Corsets, and they make absolutely gorgeous mesh corsets. I just have to say, I have lusted after one for like years, but the last time I checked, they were like $600 or $700 Canadian, and I just don't have the money for it right now. Plus, my weight is fluctuating, and that's a bad time to buy a really expensive custom corset. But anyways, custom corsets, contour corsets rather. Totally awesome if you can afford it. But their method is the cycle method. So this one is more of a listen to your body method. So the idea is that you lace tighter, so reduce more, and wear the corset for longer as your body tolerates. So if I wake up today and I'm like, I am in a mood to like cinch my corset as tight as it'll go and wear it all day long and my body is on board with that, then great, I do that. If tomorrow I wake up and I'm like, man, I feel bloated and, you know, maybe it's that time of the month and I don't want like anything more than a 2-inch reduction for like an hour, then I do that, you know, and I listen to my body and I cycle through whatever my body feels is right. And you'll know when you start wearing corsets regularly, your body will tell you. Your body will say, no, 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 this is enough. Or actually, we could go for longer. So you want to listen there. So you wear it for as long as is comfortable and reduced as much as is comfortable. So if you are experiencing discomfort, you loosen up your laces and see if that helps. If, you know, you find that even that doesn't help, then you take the corset off. You've worn it long enough. Again, we are looking to wear the corset at a consistent reduction for all day. And then we can sort of get a smaller corset once we're able to achieve that. But you just listen to your body. Now, I mean, there's always going to be days where you just can't lace down. Like I said, if it's your time of the month, I don't know about you, but I get awful cramps and all that kind of stuff. Thank goodness for hormonal IUDs, because now I don't have to deal with that. But that's another thing entirely. I'll totally talk about it if it's something you guys are interested in. But anyways, you don't want to lace down when it's that time of the month with the cramps and everything else. Like, it just sucks. And you feel bloated and your back hurts and so I got really bad like PMS symptoms and all of it. So you know, on those days you just don't want to. So your goal with this is again to wear the corset as long as possible and for as many days as possible. And if you have a day where you just can't wear it, then don't wear it. Like, it's okay. Like, you know, if you're going to your families to eat Christmas dinner and you know you're going to eat a lot, then don't wear the corset. It's okay. You're not going to set yourself back. Again, the way that you achieve waist training goals is wearing the corset as much as possible and, you know, at a steady reduction. And that's going to give you the long-term goals. With this, it is looking at the end game, way down the line. It's not how many inches can I reduce right now. So it's pretty much the exact opposite of tight lacing. So, I mean, you can certainly be tight lacing while you're waist training if you can get that sort of reduction. But, and I'll put the link for the tight lacing video up here as well. So another really important thing that you need for this is a properly fitted corset. You don't have to go and buy custom corsets, especially if you are going to be, you know, needing to buy a new corset every few months, you definitely don't want to be buying expensive corsets that are custom made for you that are not going to be any good for you in a few months. So I would stick with off the rack corsets, find ones that fit your body well. So for me, honestly, if I was going to do this, I would look at a couple of different companies. Again, the Gemini corsets from Timeless Trends. I like Restyle. I don't know if her corsets are their corsets, like a company, not a person, but if Restyle's corsets are appropriate for waist training. I did not look into that because I'm not waist training with them. But I do know that they do stand up fairly well to tight lacing, so there is that. And or Orchard Corset is another good one. There's a few others that I can't think of off the top of my head, but if I can think of them, I will put them in the description box below. And you also really ideally want more than one corset. You need at least two to do waist training, because if you wear the same corset every single day, you're going to wear it out, but also it's just going to get really, really funky and gross. So I will do a video on corset care, but you really need to. You'll wear one corset one day, wear another corset the next day, and go back and forth between the two. More corsets than that would be fantastic, but I know that not everybody can afford hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars just for things that you're only going to use for a couple of months. So at least two corsets is what you're looking for. And also, you don't want to be like, oh, my goal is to take 8 inches off my waist, so I'm going to buy a corset that's 8 inches smaller than my waist measurement right now. And the reason you don't want to do that is because none of the bones are going to sit where you want them to on your body. I will even do a video on that, because I have corsets which no longer fit me because I am too big for them, and I can show you how the difference between the fits on these different corsets. So we'll do that. We can look at that, but make sure that you have well-fitted corsets that work for your body, and you have more than one of them. Always, 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 always wear a corset liner underneath or clothing underneath. It doesn't matter which one, but you should have natural fabric against your body, so a cotton, that sort of thing. Right now, I'm wearing a dress. Look here, we'll look here. But this is just a little tank top that I'm wearing underneath my corset, so that the corset isn't against my skin. And this is how I can, wear the corset without having to wash it, because you can't really wash corsets. But like I said, I will do a corset care video, hopefully fairly soon. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. That is some waist training methods that you can look into and find what works for you. So if you enjoyed this video, if it was useful in any way, please give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to check me out on Patreon. I want to say thank you very much to the people who have supported me through Patreon so far. You guys are awesome. And feel free to check that out if, supporting the channel is something that you would be interested in. So anyways, guys, thanks very much, and I will see you in the next video.